Hey everybody, welcome back to How It's Done. Today we're going to show you how to install an automatic watering system for your hanging baskets, your pots, and maybe even some in-ground vines with grapes or something that you want to make sure is getting an adequate amount of water. Today on How It's Done. So what we're going to be using for this, I went to Home Depot, picked up this automated valve which will turn the system on and off for me, so I don't even have to worry about it. It's very much similar to your sprinkler system that you may have in ground if you have one of those. I picked up some 1/4 inch tubing, and I picked up the tan color because it's going to match pretty closely to the pergola because it's going to be attached on there. I've got some old coaxial staples that we're going to be using to secure the tubing in place. And I actually bought a kit that has all sorts of different parts and pieces and fittings and sprinkler heads. Home Depot has them. I also bought a couple little oddball pieces that I think would be helpful. This is actually a mister that's got a adjustable hose on it that holds its form. So I'm thinking this will work pretty good for the strawberry hanging basket. So we'll just wrap it up here and let it do that. So first thing I'm going to be doing is laying out the hose, running it along the pergola. I'm going to be running a hose down here and then down to this pot, have it tee off and come over here again all the way down, and we'll hit the hanging basket and the pot, and then the same thing over here. We'll have it go down and have one hit the grapevine that's down there, have another one go down and hit the grapevine that's over here, and we'll probably also have it tee off and hit the rose bush. And I may even use this to go in the back of the fountain here, because I'm filling this up on a constant basis between evaporation and my dog apparently likes to drink out of the fountain. Don't know why. Must be a dog thing. So might have this just when it runs daily, it'll automatically fill that up a little bit. Might help combat the number of times that I have to put water in that. So we'll go ahead and get the piping run. I'll show you how to connect some of the tees. So if you've never worked with these coax connectors before, these little guys, basically they're really easy to work with. You pretty much just hold it where you want it. It's got a nail in one side, and you can basically just get the nail started. There you have it. It's in there. And these, this 1/4 inch tubing will actually slide right through there, and it holds it in place pretty well. So then what we're going to do is go ahead and put a T right here at the end of this. You're just going to want to push it in there, twist it a little bit if you need to get it going. There we go. And you're just going to want to make sure that you get it over the barb, because that's what's going to hold it in place. And then we'll have one piece going to this vine down here, and we'll have another piece of tubing going to this little pot right here. So we'll go ahead and just cut a piece of tubing there, slide that right on the end. We'll get another length, see what we're going to need. This guy down here. So I think that should work. There you go. Go ahead and get that cut. Now, for plants in the ground, if you've got an in-ground sprinkler system, it's really not necessary, but because I want these plants, these vines to really grow well, and because on the other side I've got grapes which need a lot of moisture to produce good fruit, I am going to be kind of supplementing this normal watering system with this as well. So let's go ahead and get the rest of these pipes run, and we'll show you how we hook up the rest of the sprinklers. Alright, so after you've got all the hose run, what you're going to need to do is set up your timer. This guy right here. Now, the kit that I bought comes with the pressure regulator at 25 psi. We're going to install this and see how this works. Hopefully it helps. If it doesn't, you know, I'm really not I don't have a problem taking it off and leaving it off. So first thing you gotta do, put the 9-volt battery in. I'm not really super happy that it runs off a 9-volt because that tells me I'm gonna have to be changing the battery on a fairly regular basis, but I'm hoping it lasts a year so I can just hit this when I do the what do you call them, smoke detectors in the house. So pretty straightforward battery replacement or battery install. Looks like it's got a pretty good weatherproof seal on it. And then you can go through, set up the time, all that stuff. I'll run through that with the instruction manual later. But for the time being, I'm going to get this set up. I do have a splitter that I plan on using because I would like to be able to use the hose without separating everything out. But yeah, we'll get to that. So that's that. Got the pressure regulator. We'll go ahead and screw on the bottom. And this thing does spin pretty easily. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Hopefully it doesn't leak, but I guess we'll see. Turn on the water and see what it does. Oh, nope, it actually gets pretty solid once the pressure starts coming out. So, yeah, turn it on, turn it off. Cool. So that is how we will test it. Alright, so with that said, we're going to take this piece, which is the kind of adapter from your normal hose sides down to the 1/4-inch tubing. We'll put that on there. Get that nice and tight. And then we will turn this on and make sure we have flow through all the different locations. So let's do it. Alright, so we're looking good. We got water coming out of most spots, but not out of everywhere. I'm guessing that's because it's just open on the ends. As you see, we don't have anything coming out of this guy. And we don't have anything coming out of these two over here. We do have water coming out of these. So, like I said, I think that's because they're open on the ends. So we'll go ahead and shut this off. My supervisor's sleeping on the job. So we'll go ahead and shut this off and then put the actual spray valves on the ends. Alright, so to do this, I'm actually going to be using these little stakes. There's two different kinds that I have. I have the ones with the blue heads and the ones with the red heads. They do different things. The blues kind of just spray like a mist, and the reds are actually more of a drip. I'm going to be using primarily the reds because that's going to serve more the purpose that I want. And I know it looks like I'm watering something that doesn't have anything planted in there. This actually has some stuff planted in it. So it's some flowering bulbs that are going to be growing at some point once they come up. So yeah, we're going to let this guy just water it on a fairly regular basis and let it grow up and thrive. These heads are adjustable. You can tighten them down or loosen them and make more or less water come out. So we'll be doing that. This guy will drop down here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get these in. There is one spot where I'm going to be using something a little bit different. Let me show you that. So up here on the hanging basket where I've got the strawberry plant, I'm actually going to be using the adjustable mister. And like I said, this is just a flexible piece. You can bend it any way you want and get it to kind of spray where you want. But it's just a mister. And the reason I've got it like that is because bug zapper's right here. So don't really want that getting wet and going crazy. Again, it's not going to really be watering at night when the bug zapper might be on when we're outside, but yeah, we'll let that water the strawberries and hopefully this works well. Alright, and then last thing we're going to do is go through and check make sure that all your little spots are working the way you want them. You dial them in, tighten them up, loosen them up, get the flow to increase or decrease. Like I said, on these side ones that are in the ground, I've just got them to like a little bit of a trickle because, yeah, they're in the ground. It's just to help supplement the growth, keep them hydrated. And then the mister up here is working well, got good pressure. And this guy down here as well, keeping that running pretty good. The rows I've got set to kind of like a drip. It's not a high flow rate, but it's dripping pretty good. Same thing with the grapes. Nothing super crazy. Just kind of a drip, if you can see it back there. Maybe this one over here would be easier to see. Yeah, just kind of a good flow, but not super over the top. And yeah, I'm not going to be able to keep the fountain filled up with this because as soon as I open up that valve, the pressure everywhere else drops, and the mister doesn't work, and a few of the other ones just drop off drastically. So I did remove the pressure valve, the pressure regulator, because I found that with that running, the pressure was way too low. So I just took it off and just screwed this one in the bottom, and it seems to be working fine.